dance for joy, your last.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Classics, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars, or rather we normally look at practical, sensible cars that you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000 that are over 15 years old. In this case though, this 1991 Toyota Supra 3-litre turbo, known as the A70 model, is worth a bit more than that, and it's also not very sensible. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Mark III Supra, known as the A70 generation, was launched in 1986. This car is a rather late one. It's a 1991, but discontinued in early 1993. And this actually has the Toyota logo that we know and love. The earlier cars just had little badges like said Supra or Toyota as a word mark. Facelift occurred in late 1989 for 1990 model year, and there only ever were two engines available in this country. One was a normally aspirated 3-litre 6-cylinder with either, and I've seen various opinions on this, 184 horsepower or 200 horsepower. This particular car is the turbo version, and this either has 232 horsepower or 234 horsepower, depending on the model year. The turbo was introduced in this country in early 1989, so there are some pre-facelift turbos around, but the major facelift occurred in November 1989, so you're more likely to find a turbo one with a facelift like this car. It's only done about 51,000 miles, this car, and it was owned by the same person for years and years and years. This is an unrestored example as well. It's never had any paint, it's never had any welding, and it is absolutely fantastic. One thing this car doesn't have, which some cars in other markets did, is a limited slip. It has limited slip differential, but it doesn't have the Toyota electronic management suspension system in it, which some of the cars did. The ride's a little bit on the firm side, to be honest. It's not as bad as the Slicker GT4 that I drove recently, that Steve, who owns this car, also has. That was really firm. This is a bit better. And actually, this is more like a sort of big cruiser. It's not so much as an out-and-out sports car, although it's quick. In the manual turbo model, these cars do 0 to 60 in less than 7 seconds. This is an automatic, so it's a little bit slower than that. But it is delightful. So limited slip differential in this car, leather interior, cruise control. It's got air conditioning as well in it. It's really climate control actually in here. It's really well equipped, sort of big GC car. The nearest equivalent would have been the Nissan 300ZX, either the sort of older model, or in this case the sort of last model introduced about, I think about 89 it was. It's absolutely brilliant as well. The steering's really nice actually. I just see the sort of rear spoiler in my mirror, and we've also got pop-up headlamps views, which we'll have a play with a bit later. So I am incredibly blessed to be having a go in this car today, and I can't wait to have a look around it with you. Fortunately for you, it is a bit windy today down by the coast. I apologise for that. This car looks absolutely brilliant because it only has 51,000 miles on the clock, and it had the same owner for most of its life. It's in absolutely amazing condition. There's one or two kind of paint blisters and things like that, but it's really not much else going on. Facelift occurred late 1989 for the 1990 model year. This is a late 1991 car, and so the badge looks a bit different. This one compared to the latest ones. I think tail lamps are different as well from the earlier cars, but it's not massively different really. Bizarrely on this car, we don't pull a lever inside to open the boot. We just press a little button here, like on a European car. So, pull this up. Gosh, it's heavy. Oh dear. Wow. Yeah, it's a lot heavier than I thought it would be. Boot space, it's all right. biggest problem is this spare wheel that sits just here. But you could get quite a lot of stuff in here. Obviously, good for being a GT car. And there are some rear seats there, which I don't think are going to be an awful lot of use for you unless you're very, very small. Mr. Manning from Wack's Cars channel dictate that I need to go in there, so I shall. But yeah, it's actually not too bad. We've got a little boot light down there. Some very fearsome struts on there. See, this car was sold as a used car at some point from Mitsubishi dealership, not very far at all from where it lives, so it's not been too far in its life. Got the later type alloy wheels on this as well. As you can see, these 5-spoke ones. The earlier cars had far more spokes than this. Let's see if we can get in here without being run over by a Citroen C3 Picasso. Right, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get in the back because Mr. Manning says we must. So we shall. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier with this thing than the Celica. Ooh, it's actually not too bad. It's okay. The only thing is, I don't think I'm going to be pulling this seat all the way back. It's not going to go, is it? So if you haven't got any legs, it's probably fine. But I have some legs, and so it's a bit of a problem. You could just put some luggage in here instead, really. And we've got these luggage nuts on the back of the seats and a little ashtray if you're very short people in the back are able to, have a smoke or something if they want to. I love these head restraints. They're wonderful, aren't they? Yeah, they're brilliant. I love those. In fact, the interior of this car is brilliant. I'm going to see a bit more of it once we actually free ourselves of our self-imposed prison. But there's only 2 seats in the back of here. Oh no, gosh, why would you? How would you imagine this car's a 5-seater? It's got a centre lap belt. Wow. Okay, viewers. Something for consideration there. What person's going to draw the short straw and have to sit in the middle? Yeah, it's all right. I mean, if this passenger seat was set forward a fair way, I could probably get in the back for a short distance. But I won't spend much time in here because it's a bit cramped. Unfortunately, the cars that we got in this country for the UK market didn't have the T-bar roof option. We only got this sort of fixed roof like this, although you might see some that have been imported like that. All right, let's get out of here, viewers. Okay, we're out. Let's get in here. Oh, I get out this wind. So this car's got the latest style instruments, I think, which came in with the facelift in sort of late '89. You can see they don't have as many gradations on the speedometer and rev counter. Because this is a turbo model, we have a turbo boost gauge that we'll be investigating later once my autofocus sorts itself out. There we go. If this was a non-turbo model, it would have a voltmeter at that particular point. So you've got oil pressure, the standard gauges there with coolant temperature and then fuel. You can see it's some very low mileage, digital clock, and all sorts of exciting things. Yes, cruise control, and that's for the power mode and the automatic gearbox. See the cruise control switches on the steering wheel, it's a bit different from the earlier cars. There's all the climate control buttons on here. We've got a CD and tape player down here. Just everything. We've got adjustable electric lumbar support, electric mirrors, electric windows, power door locks, leather upholstery. We've got a little cubby down there for whatever you need to go in there. It's got a leather. No, it's not a real leather. It's simulated leather dash. It's very, very nicely equipped car, this, and of course some grab handles for absolutely terrifying passenger rides. Excellent. So open the glove box. I don't think my secret mission knockers are going in, unfortunately. I don't think they're going in the door pockets either, because the door pockets are absolutely ridiculous. Look at that. I don't think I'm going to get those in there somehow. Fog lamp switches on this side here. Obviously, we'll have some pop-up headlamp action in a bit. But yeah, it's nice and comfortable. You can feel like you go a really long journey in this. Obviously, these are what these cars were designed for. They're designed for cruising down to the south of France and things like that. I feel this car could do that. We've got the working climate control here as well. So that's the overdrive switch for the automatic gearbox. We've got normal and power modes down here as well. Yeah, I like it, viewers. I like it rather a lot. I also like the fact we've got telescopic adjustments on the steering column, so you can get that ideal driving position if you want. And there's the rear wiper switch just there too. Right, let's have a look under the end. Let's have a look at the engine. Get my words out right today. So hopefully you can still hear me, viewers. So we have the Secondhand GTE engine in this car, developing about 234 horsepower, I think it is, in this late car. There was also, of course, the Secondhand GE valve turbo. It's about 184 horsepower, 200 horsepower, depending on what sources. Looks a little bit on the crap side, especially with the turbo sitting on top of there as well. But it's in such a nice condition, this car. I just cannot emphasise that enough. So many sort of electronics going on here, particularly for a car from 1991. But yeah, you need to take a car like this to a specialist. You can't just take it to any garage, particularly these days. So that's what I would recommend with this. See, Steve, who owns this car, is actually a torture specialist, so he's looking after it really well. Okay, let's go for another drive, shall we? Imagine this, viewers. You are a successful higher up in a company in the late 1980s. You don't really want a Porsche because you've heard they're, maybe a little bit fragile and specialist. You don't really want a British car because you've heard they're not that reliable. So you could consider one of these, and you need to do lots and lots of miles every single year for business. Be absolutely ideal. Either get the manual, 5-speed manual, or the 4-speed automatic. The turbo models actually do have a different gearbox in them from the non-turbo models in terms of the manuals. And this will just eat up the miles for you. And if you want to have some fun, like I'm currently doing, there we go. Oh, my boost gauge is winding round nicely. Very good. This would be an ideal car for you. Obviously, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be exactly the most economical car. It's maybe not going to be the most, economical car to service, but you will have the best time ever. Whether you're going on country roads or motorways or anything. The only thing you've got to be careful of is when trying to park this thing in town. Of course, reversing sensors were very, very rare at the time in 1991. And also parking cameras, I think, were just coming in Japan. So you're not really going to have too much luck in that way. So you're just going to have to be a little bit careful as to where you park this and how you park it. Particularly an immaculate example like this. But you can see why someone would really want something like this. And I think this car is absolutely fantastic. The only thing I need is a beige leather interior, which I don't think was available. I did ask Steve about that. I don't think you can get one. It's by a Lexus Supra or something like that. But yeah, you could just get in this and you could go for hours and hours and hours and cruise down to the south of France or something like that with the climate control going, listening to your tapes and CDs, with a car that has a stiff edge to the ride, which means it handles really well. But other than that, it's really comfortable. We've got all the gadgets like the cruise control and the telescopic steering column. And if you really want to, you've got some particularly short people, you can put them in the back for a bit. What exactly is there not to love about it? Let's put it in power mode and see if it makes a difference to the acceleration. Yeah, I suppose marginally it does. It's not huge. We can also take off the overdrive on the gearbox. We're left with 3-speed automatic. But generally, it's got so much power anyway, and it's so quick. You just leave it in normal automatic and just let the car kind of just go along by itself. If you really want to drive it quite hard, you could get the manual gearbox and exploit the limited slip differential as well. It's a fantastic car. So one of the things you've got to do if you're buying one of these cars is check the service history of your turbo. You might have seen in one of the shots actually, but there's a sticker on the door saying if you've been driving really fast, don't turn the engine off immediately, let it sort of just kind of recover for a bit. You really need to maintain one of these cars as specialists these days. They've got so many kind of interesting electronics in them, and they have just got, you know, various sort of old-fashioned bits and pieces on them that just need someone who knows what they're doing to look at rather than just a general garage. If you're going to buy one, obviously check all the gadgets, pop-up headlamps, air conditioning, cruise control, that kind of stuff. We don't have the TMS suspension in this car, which you know, would be nice. We don't have that, so it probably makes it a bit simpler. The sports pack in some markets, what you have like washers, the low distance differential, and the TMS. But of course, in this car, we've only got low distance differential and the headlamp washers. So viewers, should you consider a Mark III Supra for your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000? Probably not. I mean, the only way you're going to get one of these cars for about £5,000 is if it's an absolute basket case. You want to spend maybe about £9,000 to £10,000 on one of these. That would be probably a non-turbo one. The automatic ones tend to be worth a little bit less, but because this car's so immaculate, even though it's an automatic, it's worth about £15,000, which I'm incredibly privileged to have had a go in it, really. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you very soon for some more reasonably priced nostalgic motoring.